Hi everyone, welcome back. In today's session, we will just be doing a review of our last test, which was Literacy Fridays Quiz 3 at YouTube. Of course, I will also be revealing our top performers on that quiz. Commendations to all who attended the quiz. Performance was not as expected, but those who placed in the top 5 got 50% of the answers correct. Alright, so to kickstart this day's session, let's go straight into our review of the test items. The first item on our quiz asks, which of the following reading comprehension strategies helps with mathematics? Well, we had looked at really 3 comprehension strategies in the last 4 videos, and we would have looked at 3 comprehension skills. And if you're looking at the screen, then you would have realized that both KWL and KWLSH are there as options. However, if you had have revised, then you would remember that KWL has to do with just reading comprehension in terms of any textual content that has nothing to do with mathematics. The one that has to do with mathematics has the SQ in the name. So we know of SQ3R, we know of SQRQCQ, but the one that deals with mathematics, the clue to remembering it is that the C stands for compute or construct. So definitely if you had selected SQRQCQ, then you would have been correct. Shall we recap? Will I solve this problem? What formula will I need to use to assist me in solving this problem? For example, if the problem required that we find the volume of a tank, then we could write down volume equal length times width times height, and we jot that down on our paper simply because we have to be able to remember this formula later when we are doing our calculation. So we actually jot down the formula that we will use. Step 5, compute or construct. So when we're at step 5, we apply the mathematical principle or the formula that were necessary. We draw any diagrams, any symbols, any charts, any tables, any sort of illustration that may be required. If you had not checked out the video on the SQRQCQ strategy, it's now a good time to do so. It was posted 3 weeks ago. You can also use it to guide you in practicing with worded math problems. I gave steps and I gave examples as how to apply those steps. The next text item then asks, which study skill involves the following actions? Of the 4 options, only 3 could have applied. It's either surveying, scanning, or skimming. So we look at scanning, and scanning has to do with a bit more probing through the test. And based on what this is saying, the clues are reading chapter headings, looking at the table of contents, or reading the abstract. So it means you're not actually going in the text. Scanning and skimming actually means you delve a bit further in the text. So the answer is definitely surveying. Bear in mind that the index is at the back of the book, the table of contents, and the abstract are just at the front. February was Black History Month. And for Black History Month, we focused on some Black leaders who were revolutionary, especially in the field of engineering. Now, if you looked at this lady and thought that this was Shirley Caesar, then you were definitely wrong. Shirley Caesar is a singer. I only know one song from Shirley Caesar. I remember Mama. Yeah, but I don't know any other song from her. But no, that's not Shirley Caesar. That's actually Shirley Jackson. There are quite a few persons who selected Shirley Morgan, and I understand why. That's because we had also looked at Garrett Morgan during the month of February. So the lady on your screen is Shirley Jackson, and she's responsible for the development of the technology for caller ID and caller waiting. So thanks to Shirley Jackson, we're able to know who is calling before we even answer the phone. And if we are in the midst of a call and another call is coming in, we are able to access both by just switching and then returning to the previous call. The next quiz item was about the SQ3R study strategy, And the SQ3R stands for survey, question, read, recite, review. Not reread, but review. So the third R in SQ3R stands for review. Just in case you noticed that I did not focus on item number 2 of our quiz, that's because it simply asked about when was Literacy Friday started. And Literacy Friday started in February 2022. It was just a true-false question, but a few persons got it wrong. So we started in February 2022. As it relates to this definition of literacy, we have been using this definition from day one. And this definition comes straight from UNESCO 2017. And I believe it is just the definition of literacy that really encapsulates everything about what literacy is. So we keep using this definition from UNESCO 2017. Check out one of our early videos about what is literacy for the breakdown as to what this definition really says. Now, this was not a trick question. The question had 2 possible answers. If you selected the amber lights for stoplights or the 3 signal traffic light system, then you would have been correct. Kahoot would have prompted you to let you know that you could input 2 answers. If you placed both answers, then you would have got the full marks. But if you only placed one, Kahoot would have told you that you got half the points. This statement is definitely true. Approximately 781 million adults worldwide cannot read. And of that population that cannot read, that adult population, the majority are females. So this statement now, number 10, is false. It's not the males that make the majority of the illiterate population, it's the females. And a factor leading to that is because that in those societies where we have the highest numbers of illiterate adults, the females are usually the ones who are not privileged to have education, as in they're not accessing it. The males are accessing it more. So although the literacy rates are not distinctly different, the rates of illiteracy, there's a big difference. The females are more in terms of illiteracy than the males, although literacy levels between gender does not differ much across the globe, that is, in terms of countries or regions. In case you need to refresh your mind about that discussion, then the link is in the description box. Does gender make a difference with literacy? For this item note, 11 of 12, it says when blanking a text, it is good to have your eyes move in a zigzag manner across the page. And the clue is the zigzag manner. If you're doing the zigzag manner, it means you're actually doing some sort of reading. And the only of the 3 that would have been applicable would be scanning. Because if you're actually reading the text, you would not just be going in zigzag manner, you'll be reading in detail. But when scanning, you go a bit in depth, not unlike surveying and skimming, where you're just looking for key terms. For scanning, you actually move in a zigzag manner with your eyes. That way you can cover more content in reading. Now remember, scanning, skimming, and surveying are just study skills. They are not supposed to be used as a replacement for actual reading of a text. Okay, so for the KWLSH reading strategy, the K stands for what you know, W, what you want to know, L, what you have learned, the S, what you still want to know, and the H is for how will you go about finding that information. So once you put STILL, whether you typed it in all caps or low caps, you got it correct. Now it's time to recognize our top performers.